What is up, guys? Well, today, or actually tonight, I wanted to talk about upcoming trips and how to kind of plan for them, and also what is going on in Daytona. So, just planning for a trip, especially like Daytona, with coming up in 2 weeks for me, for some, probably a little bit longer. It's not just, hey, throw your stuff on the bike and go. You kind of need to know where you're staying and what's going on. So, with that being said, I've had to list out and plan my trip while I'm down there, as well as what I'm going to be taking with me, because I'm going to be camping, and this will be the first time camping in Daytona. Last year, I ended up staying at an Airbnb, which was still cheaper than some hotel rooms. Because if you plan, well, if let's just say if you don't plan, if you wait until the last minute, you could end up spending a whole lot more or having to stay far out from Daytona just to get a room that's reasonable priced or within your budget. Because I've made trips to where I had to stay in a hotel room. What's up, man? So I'm testing out the new mic. So let me know how it sounds, because I know the last mic I had sounded way too crappy. It actually made me sound too high pitched. So I think this mic's going to work out a whole lot better. But getting back on a little bit of topic, try not to plan last minute and have to spend so much money into a hotel room. With this upcoming trip, I planned a little bit more accordingly. I got me a new tent that I'm going to be staying in, because the first camping trip, moto camping trip I did last year, the tent was just too small. I had to actually get out of the tent to change. I didn't like doing that. So I knew for this year, I was going to be planning a whole lot more and getting things where I could be a lot more comfortable on the road. One was a bigger tent. Two, a cot, because I tried that whole blow up mattress thing. It would deflate in the middle of the night. I would literally have a root in my back. I could feel it. I'd be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, that's done. I'm done with that. So I started that whole planning process months ago of what I was going to be getting, as well as where I'm going to be staying at Daytona. So that being said, where I'm going to be staying is at the Crackleberry campground, which is right next to the Cabbage Patch. And I'll get into kind of what's going on at the Cabbage Patch a little bit later. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be some real interesting things going on, to where I really don't even have to leave at night. I can just stay there, have a drink if I want to, go see some bands or some entertainment. So that's a great thing. That way, when I'm tired, I can just walk back to my campsite and call it a night. But because there's so much going on at Daytona. Yep. Yep. There's a lot, because I know you guys are going to be there, you know, because I was looking into a lot of things. Okay. Yeah, I'll be staying right there. So, that's going to make it real entertainment, because Wednesday night is slime wrestling, or Wednesday afternoon is slime wrestling. A lot of bands going on at the Crackleberry. I think I might make it out to the Iron Horse Saloon for one night. I know Thursday night Joe Nichols is playing there. So if you like country music, that'd be probably the night to go. Not every other night really caught my eye for that. So, but the Iron Horse does have a burnout pit. That way, if you want to see somebody get in there, just smoke their tire. Okay. I missed that. Okay, Thursday night. So Colt Ford will be playing at the Crackleberry Thursday night. So if that's some country music you want to see, come out there Thursday night, or Joe Nichols will be playing at the Ironworks. So you kind of got to weigh your options on that night of who you want to go see, but it's not that far from my campsite. So more than likely, I'll be staying at the Crackleberry at night because it just makes it easier for myself. Now, kind of getting into some of the more events going on, let's just go through from when I'm getting there Friday to, well, actually, I'll be there Thursday night, but everything's going to kick off Friday. Okay. Yeah. See, I haven't gone through all the bands that's going to be playing at the Crackleberry. I have seen some, but I haven't seen them all. So I got to kind of go through that list of what's all going to be playing there. Now, let's see. Now, for races, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, which I have got tickets for, is the Sons of Speed Racing, which I'm going to be getting into pit side. I got VIP tickets for that. So that's going to be just a awesome event for me to go to. I'm excited about that. Truly am, because it's just going to be a unique experience. Billy Lane is the founder of that. A lot of the Sons of Speed, be able to kind of hang out with those guys, be pit side. Plus, it's old bikes. It's just a unique experience. Now, I got to get more details on exactly when that's going on, or more details about it. And it'd be the first time being there. But that's going to be happening on Saturday. I know Friday is they're doing practice. But jumping into Sunday, you have Choppers and FXR show. Or is that? Yeah. But because of having an FXR, actually, technically, my dad has an FXR. I really want to go see the FXR shows. And they are one bike that's very, very unique to me because I can spot them out of a crowd. Having that V shape frame is just unique. With the Lowrider ST having that fairing, it's just, in my eyes, kind of that not iconic bike, but it came out before its time, really, because a lot of people thought it looked too metric, didn't give it a shot, and then it comes back basically full force. People are buying them up, putting performance parts on them, tricking them out. I mean, you look at the Unknown Industries, which they'll be there. Several of those guys run FXRs, so they'll be having that out there. The Unknown Industries will be in Daytona. Excited to see those guys because last year I didn't get to see them perform. It was just rainy. They couldn't get out there. Just chance of not being able to control that bike like they need to. So I'm hoping to actually get out there and see them. That's going to be actually at the Speedway this year. But there is a lot going on at the Speedway. Now, if you're looking for vendors, though, that is not really where you want to go as much as for the Speedway. That's going to be more at Destination Daytona. Okay. I haven't seen that because Space Coast is south. So, okay, Performance Hangover Show. Yeah, I'll have to definitely check that out because I don't think I have that many plans for Monday. But that'd be a very interesting one. Definitely would be in the performance side of things. So that's going to be interesting. Now I got to get the times on that because getting into Monday is the Flying Pistons breakfast. So I'm going to be attending that, the Flying Pistons breakfast. and that's to help out all kids' bikes, which I put out a video about that of being up there in Arkansas for Bike Splitters and Barbecue. I believe that's a great charity in my mind. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely try. Now you got to get me the times on that because now I'll look it up because I have not seen what the times are or seen about that event, but definitely want to check that out. Now, the Flying Pistons benefit that breakfast that morning is at 8:30 to 11. So after that, I'm good to go on that side of things. Now, Wednesday at the Speedway, it's a Bella's Ride, which then they're doing a all women's bike show. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Definitely when you want to see women riders and the way they set their bikes up and putting them in there. I just think that's going to be a pretty cool event. I'm going to try to make it to that Wednesday. But and then Tuesday, even at the Speedway as well, is going to be a meet and greet with Bagger Racing League. Losing my train of thought here. But yeah. So when I had first looked a while back, last month, I was trying to see what was all going on at Speedway. I didn't even see the Bagger Racing League posted for Daytona. So about I think a week ago, maybe 2 weeks is when I actually saw that coming up. So because I was like, why are they not doing the Bagger Racing League again down there? Because I think that was a good hit last year of them doing that. So that really kind of caught my eye for a second. But then I seen where they were going to be doing it. I was like, okay. Because to me, it wouldn't make sense not to do the Bagger Racing League down in Daytona. I mean, that's just my opinion, and everybody's got their own opinion. But they're doing Tuesday meet and greet with the Wyman brothers, and that's at 1 to 3 p.m. So that's going to be a pretty cool event. Be able to go meet them, hang out, chit chat, pick their brain a little bit. So I'm going to try to see what I can get out of that. Now, because I'm leaving Daytona on the 9th, I really won't see any of the races. Now, I got to see them last year, but this year it's not going to happen because I'll be headed up to Army Beach from there. I got some plans up there to go and do some filming, just have some good time, be out on the bike. And I'm planning on riding to all the events this year and putting miles on the bike because I want to give you guys my review of the 106 engine, how it holds up, because I didn't try to go chasing the numbers game on that bike. I just wanted something reliable, but I wanted a lot more horsepower and torque. And 110, basically 110, you might as well say, and 116 foot-pounds of torque, that will hold up with the M8. And I'm talking about just a 114, 117 that has up to a stage 2, because yes, they're going to be a little bit higher numbers than my twin cam, but I'm not talking about putting a 124, 131 that's pushing twice as much horsepower and torque. Yes, they're going to walk straight away from my bike, but I'm glad to be putting the miles and going to Daytona with my bike and putting as many miles on it. But I'm getting off topic on that side of things. But now I know one of the days at Speedway they're doing a Sportster show. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm debating taking the Sportster just to put it into that bike show. I think I got a pretty custom bike for that. Sportster, when it's an all Sportster class, I think it's pretty custom. I've touched every single piece of that Sportster, from the oil lines, brake lines, brake. I mean, there's not much I have not touched on that Sportster compared to my bagger. There's more parts that I haven't touched on the bagger that I have touched on the Sportster. But the only reason I'm not bringing it for that is, where am I supposed to put all my gear? I mean, cameras, tent, sleeping gear, clothes. I don't know where I'd put it. So, not bringing a Sportster for that. Kind of sad I can't put it in the bike show, but there'll be other ones. I'll have to catch one that's actually closer, or take it to when the local Harley dealership is doing a bike night and bike show. I could put it into that. But kind of getting into not just the Speedway, but Destination Daytona, which is no longer Bruce Rossmeyer's, which I just found that like not too long ago. Dear Lord. But if you're looking for vendors to do anything to your bike, that's going to be the place you want to go, is over to Destination Daytona. That's also where the breakfast is going to be on Monday morning. A few other things going on. I know they got some bands going on. Okay, Teddy Morse's. Now I couldn't remember with the last name. Yeah, I knew it was Teddy, but and see, I got to get more information on when it exactly kind of when it changed, because I knew for a while it used to be Bruce Rossmeyer. I actually know that Teddy Morris actually owns another dealership, if I'm not mistaken. Now, going to the Crackleberry, they will have not just bands, but Daisy Duke contest at night. And it was said to have some pole dancing contest. So definitely for adults or having a good night, that's going to be just some good entertainment. I mean, who don't want to see that? I mean, have a drink, see some girls walking around, and body paint. I mean, I'm game for it. Just my opinion. Now, it didn't say nothing about coleslaw wrestling. It said slime wrestling. If I'm From what I looked up, which I could understand that with the price of food going up, even cabbage, I could see where they could go to slime. But that's just, I mean, and that's even on their flyer that they put out, was literally saying slime wrestling, because I was like, where's the coleslaw wrestling? Because that's something they've been doing. But I guess I'll see if it's actually still coleslaw or slime on Wednesday. And to kind of give a shout out too, this is something I'm not going to miss, because I know Hells is doing his bike reveal. So I'm going to be there in Daytona to be able to see that, because he's been given premieres on that, just little hints here and there. So he's going to reveal the entire bike. And if you haven't gone and checked out his channel, you need to. Awesome guy. I got to hang out with him last Daytona. So I'm going to see them down in Daytona this year, which I know he's doing a premiere here shortly. But that's one thing I'm doing. Yep. So he's got even bigger news coming up. So he's got plans for Daytona. I got plans, but it's just going back to a lot of what I'm saying, of even throwing out what's going on in Daytona. I mean, you got meet and greets from other YouTubers. I'll be running around. Oh yeah, definitely. So, I'm making my plans, kind of scheduling everything in, what I want to see. And that's kind of where you got to go with some of the big events. if you get down there and there's a lot that you want to see, you kind of schedule everything in. That or you don't get to kind of see what you want. I mean, it's not like some events you can go to, everything is in one location. And that is not my favorite kind of event to go to. It's crowded in one area. People are all there. It's not spread out. And I know Hells can tell a little bit more on that, which one I'm going to on this, and it's Thunder Beach. I know they went to Thunder Beach last year, and I know he didn't really like it. It's not my favorite event to really go to, and it's literally right down the road from it. Well, I wouldn't say right down the road. I mean, it's still a couple hours, but it's probably one of the closest events to me, but it's not my favorite. With Daytona, like the Speedway, you got Willie's Chopper Show, you got things at Teddy Moore's Destination Daytona going on. There's just so much things to where you really got to plan it out. I mean, you could go down there, not have a plan, but I would say at least plan for where you're going to be staying because things like that book up real quick. But that's where several months ago I started making calls about being able to stay. And usually with campgrounds, it's not as hard to find a place to stay. I mean, normally they want you to stay at least 2 to 3 nights if you're tent camping. So it's not like I'm on the road. Here, let me just pull into somewhere and just stay the night for one night. And I really don't want to do that too, because then unpacking the tent, that makes it harder. Just so much to unpack and then pack up the next morning. I'd rather stay at least 2 nights doing that, just in my opinion. But for some, they might like doing that. I just rather stay at least 2 nights if I'm going to be tent camping. And that's another reason I'm one event that I would like to make this year. It's just not going to be possible. Is Laconia. I know a lot of people are planning for that event. Dear Lord, I need to mute more stuff because it's like going off on my everywhere. But planning for Daytona has been set for me and starting other events, which is a great thing for me. And just where I want to just come on, talk to you guys about just planning for an event. Don't let it just be last minute unless you don't know that you're going to be at that event the week prior. And I know that makes it even harder. Now, unless you live close, I have a buddy who's actually just coming up that weekend and possibly the next weekend. He lives like 30 minutes away. That's perfectly fine because then he can tell exactly what he wants to go see it, be done for the day, go home. Easy peasy, you know. But for the rest of us that don't live 30 minutes, that are coming out with campers, moto camping, staying in hotel rooms, you kind of want the event, the time down there to be, yes, making an itinerary. And that's where I wanted to see things because this being the first time down there at the first of the week, the first weekend, I want to do things I haven't done. So if you've been to Daytona before, do something new. Now, if you can say that you've seen everything down there every single time, good for you. I doubt that you could see everything, but you kind of get where I'm going with that. Make an itinerary of things you want to see because it's all spread out. Now, you go to a small event where everything's in one place. I don't make an itinerary for that. I really don't because they do the same thing all that week. You can go to the same exact bike show, exact same sound competition. It's the exact same bikes, and the vendors are the exact same. The only thing that might be a little different is the band's playing at night. That's it. But with a bigger event, yeah, make an itinerary. I mean, even guys coming up that are 30 minutes away, they're probably making an itinerary or they're notating what they're seeing. It's like, hey, I want to go see that. So that's the day they plan on trying to come up. But for me, I'm planning the whole week. So that's a lot. So I know I won't see everything. Like the V Twin Performance Bike Show, that is the same day at the exact same time as the Speeds and Sun. So I know I won't be able to see that. That's why I'm planning on another bike show. Technically three, if everything lines up. FXR bike show, Chopper bike show, Sportster bike show, and All Girls bike show. That's going to be an interesting ones to see, you know. And everything's everything. Bike shows are not the same every single time. Yeah, you might see some things that are unique or similar, but when somebody puts their own twist on it, it's not like just rolling the same bike 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 40 of a production bike. So that's where bike shows are unique. Not every single bike is the same. It's like the engines are not the same. You can put the same exact engine in a bike, do the exact same cams, but is it going to pull the exact same numbers? Now, really, you won't know that unless you put it on a dyno, because if it's like 1 or 2 horsepower different, that's going to be hard to tell just riding. But so putting down the itinerary, planning out, now that kind of discussed what things have been or going on at Daytona, because it's just a lot. I mean, you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. Food. Food trucks can get expensive. I mean, there's times you're going to be out there. Yes, you want to eat. Food trucks available. And where I'm kind of getting with this is, see, like this year, I'm going on a diet, been on a diet, trying to lose some weight. So it's a new experience because I know last year I got hungry. I was down there, saw a food truck. I just eat. I'm not planning that. Plus, I'm trying to do my trips on a budget. I'm not trying to go, here, let me just spend money, spend money, spend money. I want to make it cheaper. So while I'm out, I'm going to get me a little snacks, carry around with me, put them in a cooler on my bike. That way, when I'm at the campground, yeah, I'll probably go eat somewhere before then and kind of plan it out. I'll actually plan out where I want to go eat. That way, I'm not spending as much money because, again, the whole thing about this is just planning your trip out. Now, you don't have to be as tight of budget or trying to do exactly what I'm doing, but because, yeah, I'm trying to just do this trip within a certain means. And there's a few of us that do, but that's just where the whole planning the trip, and some people, it's just a vacation to them completely. I mean, it's all about meeting new people, having a good time. That's what the whole thing is. But where you kind of want to have it. But I think I covered most of the details about planning a trip. Definitely for the upcoming trip. I got more plans to make for the rest of my trips this year. But I kind of want to talk about those a little bit now. So we covered Daytona. So you guys know I'll be down there. And again, from the 9th to, well, the 2nd to the 9th. 9th is when I'm leaving. Possibly. I might stay one more night. But if I do, now I will be giving my stories on Instagram. So that way you guys can keep up to date. If you want to see, if you see me down there, come up. I'll give you guys a sticker. You can get a photo together, whatever. Say hi. I'm not shy. Just strike up a conversation with me. Plain and simple. Now, I got a little bit in between, and I'm just going to throw this out there because this is some exciting news and can actually say it is under the works. I will be moving out of this place pretty soon. building a shop. I'm excited about that. I truly am. Being able to build a shop to do what I want. So I'll be expanding a lot of what I want to do. So that's really in the works. So that's going to take priority. And I'll be filming a lot of that process, sharing with you guys of the whole build series. That's going to be a series on its own. On top of that, going on, supposed to be going to Tennessee for an event, which once I find out more details about that, I'll let you guys know. Now, and then I go back to Tennessee for Traveling Tall's Run to the Hills 3. And let me tell you, Run to the Hills 2 was a great event. So I've had to plan for that one because I'm like, okay, I'm making this trip. I am definitely making this. And when that trip gets closer to time, I'll come live again, give you guys more info. But he's already released a good bit of info. So that is in June. So I've had to kind of look at where I'm going to be staying, which I still got a little bit of time for that. That's not right on me. But again, the whole year is going to be moto camping, which I'm excited about. It kind of puts me in my own little world. And I really do like doing it because it just gets me back to my roots, being in the Marine Corps, but I'm not having to rough it. So that feels great to me to kind of be out there and be able to do that things. But so Run to the Hills 3 is in June the first. And see, at that point is actually Laconia. Laconia kicks off the same weekend as Run to the Hills 3. So that's the event I'm not going to be making this year. Kind of had to pick and choose. But we'll be at Run to the Hills 3. And that's going to be just a good event. It was last year. And I expect even a bigger turnout for Run to the Hills 3. He's got more things planned. And it's just going to be fun. It truly is. Meet new riders, become friends with new riders. I mean, it don't matter if you're in Daytona. Strike up a conversation with somebody. Make friends with them. You know, they might become long life friends. They might even live close to you. The biker community is just amazing on its own like that. And the people I met and hung out with at these events, the experience, that's why I plan out my trips because of giving you guys content and be able to see and meet more people. It's just amazing. But Run to the Hills 3, that's in June. Then I come back. July is the 120th anniversary for Harley. Excited about that. I'll be headed to that event. And that's another one I've got planned out pretty well of what day I want to see the bands. Still got to plan out where I'm going to be staying. I've already got kind of my route planned out. But you can kind of see a pattern where I'm staying is kind of on the back burner on a few of these because they're still a little ways out. But that's it. That's the only thing I haven't been starting to plan for this entire year. Then I got a little bit of break after the 120th anniversary. On top of that, I got small little events, but I don't know the details about those just yet. The only other one I could probably say that I'm really, really going to or trying to make again because this one I couldn't be happier about making. I really couldn't. Was the Stubborn American Party out at the Cave River Campground. I'm glad I made that last year. Couldn't be happier because that was just a really, really good time. Got to meet some awesome motor bloggers out there. And Adam Sandoval puts on the event. If you have not been to one of his events, need to. Or if you don't even go out there for an event, just to have a good time at the Cave River Campground, it won't disappoint. That event is held in October, early October. So I will be trying to make that event again this year. That might be the event that I'm trying to make every single year from now on, besides Daytona. Daytona is going to be my actual huge event, like, because if you've been to Daytona, that's a good one. For more of just a small little rally, get together, more compressed, Stubborn American, 100%. But I'm going to call it quits for tonight, guys. Glad I came on, get to talk to you guys. Had a great time. And I hope you guys have a good one. And I'm hoping to see you guys down in Daytona. It's just been, I'm looking forward to it. All right. Have a good one.